lovelies, and welcome back to my channel. So as you can see from the title of today's video, we're going to be reacting to Dam by SB19, which I cannot wait for. You guys already know how much I have been loving reacting to more from SB19, so I can't wait to get into this video and see what I can expect. I've heard so many good things. But before we do, if you guys are new to the channel, then welcome and thank you for joining. Make sure to click on that subscribe button down below to stay up to date with what I post on this channel. And while you're at it, why not leave a little like on this video as well? It really does help me to see what you're enjoying watching so I can keep on making more videos like this. But with all that being said, I just cannot wait to get into this one, so let's go. I'm always so curious as well when I enter into another song by SB19 what sort of vibe we're going to be getting, because you just never know.
Ano bang pakiramdam? Dati lang, payapa, malaya at puno ng pagmamahal ang lahat. Naglaho ng dahil sa makamundong kasakiman. Paano po ba iingatan ang kahiwagaan kung ang kapaligiran na ang kalaban? Paano ba hihigitan pa ang dulo ng kabutihan? At paano ba wawakasan ng isang bagay na hindi naman nagawang simulan?
How can something be ended when it hasn't had a beginning? I feel like we've entered like cinematography wonderland right now. Oh my gosh, it's gorgeous. This kick in the beat as well, like little build up.
This is ugly, but alam mo naman that me like it. Then again, cause I might see kahit na ano pa yan, come bite me. What you gonna do pag may dumating na maitim na ulap ako kikiligin? Kung tutok sa positibo ay baka lang papraning. Kasi pag realidad na ang harang agad nagising.
Oh, when reality hits you'll be wide awake. Oh my gosh, what a lyric that is right there. Like sometimes I think in life we can presume things are one way, you know, like we've spoken about before actually in other SB19 reactions where, you know, people from the outside looking in may see your life and view it as a beautiful, incredible thing, but you don't actually know what the reality of that is. And it's the same with like a dream, I think, you know, we have sometimes these real flourishing ideas when it comes to what we would like from life and these, you know, dream scenarios of things that we would love to happen or things we'd like to achieve. And it's like you don't really know the realities of those things until they hit you, and when they do hit you, they hit you hard, you know. And I think sometimes we don't always consider, you know, alongside all of the good things that come from the fruit of those dreams, there is also the opposing side of that where you do have that darkness, you know. There are the dark elements towards dreams, towards life, towards any situation. When, you know, you consider life itself, there's always going to be those two parallels of the good and the bad, and you know, sometimes you just have to find that sort of middle ground in between. But already, can I just say, number one, the storytelling from just the intro to this is phenomenal. We've entered like the dark world. It feels like we've got all this darkness going on, and I think it's just such like a beautiful picturesque moment, isn't it? But honestly, I'm already loving this. It's absolutely incredible.
Come bite me. What you gonna do pag may dumating na maitim na ulap ako kikiligin? Kung tutok sa positibo ay baka lang papraning. Kasi pag realidad na ang harang agad nagising.
Anong pakiramdam pumanig sa walang hanggang hagdan? Di ba sa kadamdam ang katapusan ang lahat na isinimula? Ito, sa hindi ko lahat tinipon kahit hindi ka nagtatiga. Dahil sa design tandam ko nang dumala sa nilang kaabang.
Ooh, whatever battles that I face, you know, I've already overcome so much already that whatever misfortune waits around the corner, like they're saying here, like whatever tomorrow brings, even if it's good, even if it's bad, I've been through so much already on this journey and through life, and I've experienced so many different dynamics when it comes to that I am almost prepared and ready and waiting for, you know, the next thing to hit again. You know, you can't get, like they were saying earlier on, you can't get just swallowed up in that sense of, you know, focusing on all of the positives, because if you do and you're unprepared for when that darkness does hit, you know, you're going to be even more so sort of like knocked off of your perch of what you were expecting from life. And I think that is such a true thing, isn't it? I think sometimes people can get so wrapped up in this world of just, you know, everything's rosy and everything's happy and everything's bright and vibrant, that when the reality does hit and things do end up happening, it's like you almost blindsided yourself to not expect that, so much so that you have almost given yourself a misfortune of not being able to be prepared for any situation that comes, you know. And I think it's, again, with these guys, they've been through so much in their journey just from what I have heard. And I think for them to have come out the other side of that, even stronger and even more determined and just so powerful and a unit together is truly inspiring. But I think with this song, it is just showcasing that sometimes in life you have to be prepared for the good and the bad, because if you just prepare yourself constantly for the good in life, then you're going to be even more like taken over when that difficulty and that challenge does hit. Can we talk about these vocals as well, please? This beat. Can you see in my eyes the things that you can't perceive? And I think that is, again, these lyrics are so strong and they're so deep, because it's like, if you look through your eyes and you see one version of me, that is a two-dimension version of me that you're seeing. You're not seeing everything that I'm feeling, all the emotions that are inside me, all of the things that I've been through, my past, you know, the things that have led me to this point and the way in which I see the world. You're not looking through my eyes. You don't get to see my perspective. You only see your perspective. And we're all the same as society, as human beings, you know. We can only see things through our own vision. We don't get to necessarily see the clarity through somebody else's eyes. And I think that is a really powerful thought, because we are also wrapped up in constantly feeling as if we know something or we know someone just based off of our one mind. Whereas it's like, maybe sometimes think from other perspectives that you're not necessarily getting the full picture. You're getting one side of these people, of this situation, of whatever it may be. And it's like, sometimes open your mind up to the possibility of you're not always going to see things in the way that you possibly perceive it, you know? And I love this imagery right here where he's like looking in at that mirror, but it's almost like a different version of himself. It's like you're seeing one thing through your eyes, but the reflection of that is something completely different. It's just so powerful, isn't it? These vocals are stunning. Oh. Oh. I will say as well, I'm loving, like I was saying, all of the darkness, you know, we've got going on, but they're all in like all in black outfits as well. It's as if in life they're talking about those temptations and the things that constantly are in our way, you know, when it comes to anything in life, whether that's dreams, whether that's just life itself in general, or whether that's success and power, whatever it may be. It's like, ultimately those temptations, sometimes we do succumb to those, and I think that's just them wearing the all in black outfits. It's like sometimes that darkness and those shadows and those, you know, thoughts in our mind do take over, but it's about how we combat that. It's about how we come back from that. And I think this song almost, again, similarly to, I think it was What, the little like kick in the beat, it's almost given that sense of like a fight song. Like, it's like we're fighting for ourselves, we're fighting for what we want in life and our dreams, but we're trying to do that in the way that is best for us and the way that is the most positive for us. While still being realistic, we're also trying to have somewhat of a positive outlook on what we can expect, while still knowing that there are the possibilities that we are going to face hurdles and challenges along the way. It's not going to be a simple task, this journey of a career for SB19 in this instance, but just the journey in life in general. You know, it's not a road that is straight ahead. It's one of those roads that, you know, it does maybe have those turning points and it does have, you know, blockades in the way, but it's how we come back from that and how we choose to react to those situations that makes us who we are. It's like that the imagery is so impactful, because it is just like that version of you that's being reflected. It's like you're screaming and shouting out and crying out behind this glass, like behind this border almost within yourself. You've built up this wall to a point that you don't really know how to break free of it, and you're trying and you're screaming, you're crying out, but you just can't seem to find the way to be able to, you know, break free of all of these restraints that you feel like you're feeling towards yourself. But I think for me as well, I'm just saying we aren't the type to run away, we're not the type to back away. And I think I've seen that even just from the couple of videos I've seen from SB19. They really do just bring everything they have to the table, and they have this determination and this willpower to fight through anything they experience. And I think for a group like them to be able to really withstand all of the challenges they have and still prosper in the way that they are is truly admirable and inspiring. And to create music like this, where it is almost just saying to anybody listening, like, we have experienced so many difficulties and so many times where it seemed like we're in the darkest of shadows. But with that sheer willpower and that determination and that fight within us and, you know, that belief within ourselves, we are able to get through anything. And anyone listening to this song is able to do the same too. You know, if you dig down deep enough into your soul, you are able to really push through anything in life that you put your mind to. And I think that is a really inspiring message to anyone listening to this song as well.
I'm all hands with 2 hands.
Oh.
Cause I'm the great, the best. Pessimist and y'all cannot contest. Graces don't excite me, not the faintest.
I'm the best pessimist. Wow. I love that lyric. I feel like as well in life sometimes I almost relate in a sense, because I wouldn't say I'm necessarily a complete pessimist, but I think that in life I always say, you know, if you expect the worst things, or the worst outcomes in any situation, then when the best of those scenarios happen, you're even more redeemed in a sense. Like you have even a greater appreciation and joy when those moments happen, and you do get the more positive aspect. So I completely can see that sense of, like, if you are pessimistic towards certain situations, then sometimes you can get the most optimistic outcomes in return. And I can imagine that for SB19, you know, having been through what they have, you are going to probably have a more shadowed view of what you expect, because, you know, to go through so many times of hurt and so many experiences of pain and still come out of the other side of that smiling and being able to create such amazing music, it must be such a difficult thing to hold all those memories and to hold all those thoughts and feelings, you know, within yourself. And I think that's probably another representation of that mirror. You know, you've had to build up so many emotions over a period of time that it does just feel like you are almost like trapped within yourself. But I think that this whole, like, I don't know, it almost feels like I'm watching a mini movie. Like, this is what it feels like. I feel like this is just, like, unbelievable. Like, I've seen, obviously, a few music videos now from SB19, but this is on a different scale. It feels like I'm watching some sort of cinematic experience. And I think the way they really are just taking you into that feeling of almost spiraling into a little bit of peril, where you are just at the depths of the darkness. Like, every single thing on the screen pretty much is just surrounded by that darkness. I love how that really is melding with the lyrics, you know, in just saying, you know, that pessimistic side, that dark side, is almost like you're trying to work your way through the battle of all of that. Pablo looks incredible. What are your feet for if you can't stand on your own? These lyrics are unbelievable. I will say SB19, when it comes to lyricism, they are top tier, elite, incredible. I think they are just phenomenal. Oh my gosh, like, if you can't stand on your own 2 feet and you can't withstand everything that you experience, then how are you going to be able to walk this journey of life? You know, to be able to even put your feet on the ground, you have to have some ability to withstand whatever faces you in your way. So you have to almost come to that reality, even though it's a hard reality check, you have to come to that reality of being able to walk the paths of life. Honestly, these lyrics are unbelievable. Little vocal flips as well are stunning. It's almost like we're breaking down those walls now. The hair is glowing. Oh, come on with a little dance break. I always love their dance breaks. Oh, hold on. I want to see that little jump through again. How did they... That was super cool. I loved that. Oh my gosh, and the little formation as well. Always love their little formations. I feel like now we've hit a wall, hit a barrier, you know, where we've got to a point of constantly almost being our own worst enemy sometimes in our own minds, you know, having these thoughts and feelings and constantly worrying about maybe people's opinions, people's perspectives, as well as our own, but also feeling as if we are challenged in terms of our creativity. But it's like ultimately you get to a point where you think to yourself, I have to have a belief in myself, because if I don't believe in myself, then who's going to believe in me for me? So it's like I feel like this whole video is just almost coming into your own, really trying to find that faith and belief within yourself. Even though you've gone through difficult times and hard experiences, it's like at some point you have to try and work through that and push through that and push through those barriers, because otherwise, you're never going to be able to achieve the things in life that you want to. You can still have those pessimistic views. You can still have that sense of not knowing whether this is the right path and this journey is going to lead you into that light. But I think with this, it is just them battling through, pushing through, fighting through all of those demons, all of those people's voices, you know, people's opinions, negativity. It's just like a whole world of darkness that they are really just fighting through to get to that point of finally finding that faith and trust within themselves and their own music, you know, and I think that is, again, just a really beautiful message. I need to see this little choreo again. That is fire. I love that. Hey! They mean business. Oh, these vocals are sending me into overdrive. Oh my gosh, the little vocal flips. Oh, it's just everything, isn't it? When they like switch up like that. It's so gorgeous. I really appreciate that lyric as well. Everything has a reason, everything has a meaning in life, you know? I think sometimes when we go through challenges, it does just feel like, why does this keep happening to me? Why do I keep experiencing these things? Why do I keep having to fight my way through all of this? But it's like, ultimately for me, I always say everything happens for a reason. And I think that even though sometimes when you're in those moments of darkness, it can seem like the worst of things in the world, like for you to be going through, it is just like that is a way in which you are able to then find that light again. You're able to find that spark within yourself. And I think that despite all of the difficult times in life that we go through, there is always a meaning behind it, and it always does lead us to something greater. And I think we do have a greater meaning than sometimes we give ourselves credit for. And, you know, I do think as human beings, we don't always necessarily appreciate how strong we are. And I think this song is really just saying, like, you are so incredibly powerful. You are so strong. You don't even know the limits that you can withstand when it comes to life. So just believe in yourself. Find that heart and power within yourself to really guide you through the next chapter, because, you know, life is going to always be difficult, but it's about how you combat everything, how you come back, you know, even stronger, ready to keep on moving, like left, right, keep moving forward, because that's the only way you can go. You can't go backwards. Once you've started on this journey of life, the only way you can go is ahead of you. These vocals. Oh, where are we entering into now? Oh. Oh my gosh. I was not expecting that. We literally turned to stone. Oh my goodness me. Maybe in a way it's almost like sometimes when you face challenges, you have to almost become stoic to a point of like feeling as if you can't really put too much emotion into something, because if you do, then you're gonna, you know, face the defiance of that in a way. You know, I think sometimes in life we do just have to almost switch off everything and just go ahead. And I think that's probably true as well when it comes to things like the industry and everything alongside that. I think that there are going to be times where you are almost having to put up a little bit, like I was saying, a wall, a barrier. You can still have that emotion and that feeling, but I think it does get to a point of where you do just have to almost become like stone-faced and just know that ultimately you're going to keep getting hit with these challenges, but you have to just keep on moving forward. Again, it's just like that thing of constantly remaining true to yourself, but still also understanding that in life you are going to, unfortunately, have to deal with these scenarios where you're going to have to continue to just be strong and steadfast within yourself. And what is stronger than like a statue made of stone? You know, I feel like that is just almost reinforcing that sort of wall that you've built up, you know? And I think maybe sometimes, again, that sense of perspective from the outside looking in, maybe people may see you as this one way, as being quite stoic, quite determined, quite, you know, hardened. But it's only a reflection of the experiences that people have gone through that makes them the way that they are, you know? And I think maybe that's another side to it as well, another side to the coin, is that people don't necessarily understand sometimes that through certain situations in life, it does alter us as who we are, as the way that we reflect ourselves. This song's really like thought-provoking. I feel like there's so many different ways in which you can take it, but ultimately I think it is just that real like fight back of just saying, this is who we are, this is us, we are true to ourselves. We have been through a really difficult journey, but to get to the point where we're at, we are so proud of ourselves for being able to really just withstand everything. Wow. That was absolutely incredible. That was literally like a movie. That was so amazing. And I loved that symbolism of the tree as well, you know, because I feel like trees are such a natural body of life, you know, we all symbolize trees with like the tree of life and of wisdom. And I think the apples coming from the tree, it's almost in a sense maybe a feeling, again, they're talking about temptation. For me, I was thinking of like the story of Adam and Eve, you know, the apples on the tree, we're all tempted by the fruit of desire. And I think, again, they're talking about the fruits of their dreams, the fruits of their desires. It's like all of those things combined and really intertwining into this one video. It's so incredibly innovative and just creative, and it really was just something unlike anything I've seen before from a music video. I loved this. Overall, I just really loved how, again, it was just a sense of we are staying true to ourselves, even when sometimes we are faced with desires, even when we are faced with temptation. You know, ultimately we still stick true to ourselves and we overcome everything that we've been through. And, you know, even though sometimes we may have this inner battle with ourselves or a battle within life, it's like ultimately we are just going to continue to pursue everything we want to and continue to succeed in life. And that is just what SB19 have done so incredibly well. So I absolutely love this song, and I hope you guys enjoyed watching along this one with me. If you did, like I said, make sure you click on that subscribe button down below to stay up to date when I post on this channel. And while you're at it, why not leave a little like on this video as well? It really does help me to see what you're enjoying watching so I can keep on making more videos like this. But with all that being said, thank you so much for watching. I hope you're having a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next video.